Ha 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 ha. Okay, so let me pull you guys over here so I can get a window open. I'm not very good with this, but I'll try. All right, so what are you guys seeing?
We see the Google screen and then you're pulling up Iowa grants.
Okay, so, and just so everybody knows, this was deployed to your system. So if I go in and I look at any one of these, you only have a login and the login takes you back. Okay, so that was, it was, people were actually registering because if you go to the dash, or not the dashboard, if you go to the storefront, it was actually, there was a registration button there. So just so you guys know, that was deployed last night. So you shouldn't have those problems anymore. Okay, so the one thing that I want to discuss with Ad-hoc is the fact, and I'm just gonna throw one out there, but I can't use ECIs. That's like a totally different situation. Let's look at like saying an application. We'll start there. So let's just look at an application. If you have an existing report out there, you will have to edit that report information by going to define report. Define report is where all the fields are. Now, I like the new version much better than I do the older version. It helps you navigate through the system a lot quicker. But remember, because you were converted from the old version to the new version, if you have any general information fields, you need to go in and actually remove them and grab them again. So let me back up here. So like this is the general information. Make sure you're deleting that field. Going back in and clicking add applications and your general information field. So system fields. So the general information for the application is when you are creating the ID. You are entering your title, selecting not only like additionals, but your organization, if you have more than one, any additional contacts besides you, okay? That's the application general information. I do not want you to be confused by this because this is a lot of this stuff is for the developers and you can't even pull it. What I want you to look at is what is set to show, okay? Your ID, your status, your title, organization, your primary contact. These are all the things. And if you want to, if it makes it easier, you can always, I thought you could. Oh, you can't do these in here. But you need to just ignore that unless there's something specific. Go down to what the check marks are that are shown, the fields that you know, okay?
Tina, this is Amy Stamen. Can I ask just a clarifying? So when you're saying those are the things that the applicant from the field has entered into the system as they begin their application, right? It's not something that we've did, right? Okay.
It would be any applicant. You creating an internally or an external person coming in and clicking on a funding opportunity to apply. You are correct. So application ID is always a good one. I don't know what was on there. What do you guys have on there? Do you remember? Okay, then it's always gonna, a new field always goes to the bottom. Make sure you put it back up to the top. Saving again. And remember, everything in here has to be a unique label. It will duplicate data. If you put in city up here, if you have two cities, it's just gonna pull the same data from this one to this one. You are not changing the form creator fields. You are truly only changing the label for the report. Okay. And that at that point, and I'm going to actually put this in there. I'm not sure why this didn't have a label, but we're going to put one in there. And then when you generate, so this is for EHS. I have no idea what funding opportunity EHS. Hopefully there's something here. Probably not. That is a claim. EHS. We'll try that one. Okay. Anybody know what you're using this for? I'm going to show you something. This is one way you can find out if they are truly in here looking on the business organization form. If I click into this field, this is where I like the new system more so than the old system. I can actually, I'm in the form right now, looking at these fields. It's the business organization form. If I back up to the form, because I can see that the form is called business organization. Do you see this information up here, you guys? So if I click on the form and I bring up that business organization, I have my hover button right in here to tell me what funding opportunities it's being used for, which is very, very helpful. Okay. So, Kristen, what's a good one? What's one that you know has data?
For a form, you mean?
For this form, can you see all the funding opportunities it brings up?
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm not sure. Those look like old funding opportunities.
It's global though, so
Yeah, let's try. Let me find a funding opportunity real quick for you.
yeah, that has
Helpful.
data.
Okay.
That's important.
Yep, let me take a look real quick.
Okay, and then I'm going to go back to the report definition. One of the other things I want to look at is so it's definitely, you have to find me something that's definitely for the EHS program area. Even if it only has 2 rows of data, I don't care if it's testy, as long as it's got something. Kristen.
Okay, let's try 433713.
You also have sorting capabilities, so like I could sort it. You could, depending on what it is, let's just run it. Always run mine in HTML. It runs faster than if you pull it down into Excel. Oh, we're not getting anything on this one.
Oh shoot, and I'm sorry, I just noticed that's archived. I pulled a bad one. Sorry about that.
Does anybody have any funding opportunity they can share with Tina?
I found one more, Deb. I'm sorry. I'm
Perfect.
looking real quick. It's 456295.
Okay. So once we have the funding opportunity, guys, and we knew, and thank you for that, Kristen, that's very helpful. Then all I did was change that general information field. That's all I had to do, okay? Your reports will run. If you have one out there that is, let's say, a status report. So let me just kind of look at the status report. I want something that's fairly easy. Some of her stuff is really, really. Okay, let's try one of these. Okay. When you have a status report and the thing actually works, you're going to notice that your fields should have not only grant general information, but status report general information. This even ties back to the logic with a review. You wouldn't have a review without an application process, correct? You would not have a status report or a site visit or a claim or contract amendment without a grant. There is that dependency there. And you must tell the system that dependency. And the way you do that is go back and get my grant general information, fields from the system form, and go back and get, at a minimum, one from the status report. That's the connection that the system needs. That's a join. And so that's what happens. If you do not do that, more than likely, you're not going to get any data out. Okay. So again, we would be changing the contract number, the title, and the period end date. So does everybody understand on their ad hoc reports that they currently have out there, what they need to do to get them working again? So
Sorry, this is Amy Stegeman. I'm not sure we have an ad hoc report in there now from status reports, and it did pull data, but some of the data got moved around. I guess I don't know any other way to do it, but I don't believe I have put anything from the grant as the document in there. I don't know if you want to look at that one and see if there's something there that would help, because I would like to see how you selected information from the document grant, I guess, to add to that.
I'm going to create a new one and show you that, but perfect. I want it. So what we have to address first and foremost through this conversion is that many of your ad hocs will probably not work. What we have to do to make them work in the new version is replace these grant or status report, in this case, general information fields. Do you guys see the section where it says general information?
Mm-hmm.
An application, you would have to fix the application general information. Your tables went from SD, which means nothing to you, _ application general information, to EG. That way, in the new version, the developers could tell the difference when looking at all the tables in a row, or like Dawn behind the scenes, what were truly system tables versus your user defined tables. So it made the back end much clearer to everyone. Because we have clients that are just like, Dawn, that actually have access and pull that data, or, it's more of a integration process or just an export process. So this is why they broke.
So Tina, I think that you showing us a new one will be helpful, but I also wonder about Amy's suggestion of her giving you a funding opportunity so you can show how to fix a current one. Would you be willing to take a second?
Yeah, if you're talking about, Amy, you got one out there that ran?
Yeah, it was, if you'll go back to the list, it's under CDCC, Early Childhood at Risk. Program area
for children.
Here, maybe I'll find
CDC
in the program area. Yes, early childhood at risk is what we'd be looking for in the program area.
Oh, early childhood. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah. I see a lot of early childhood Iowa. That's not it. You want to scroll down? There we go. So under the status report, let's do the preschool year-end report template there. Go down one
Next
more.
one. Yeah, there you go.
Yep, that one.
So, okay, so to include all rows and program, okay, so do you have a funding opportunity then?
Yeah, let's see, it's FY 20. Let me think, FY 22, shared visions preschool. You want a number?
I gotta have a number.
Okay,
I see what
okay,
you
let me find it. I don't know that off the top of my head.
And so Tina, you did a step right there, didn't you? You clicked edit report and did you do something or you just
No,
looked at it?
I didn't do anything.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
What I'm always checking for is this.
Including all rows.
99.9% of the time, you would include all the rows.
Okay,
Okay, the ID number for this is 405359.
And you said this was CDCC?
Yep, that's the program area. Yep.
And what are you typically running on? Maybe like approved
Usually,
or submitted?
Yeah, well, yeah, submitted is fine or approved. So for status reports, we usually have approved status by the time we
All
run
right,
it.
let's try this. Okay, I'll leave it in HTML.
Okay.
Okay, so we don't have enough, and it's more than likely the fact that those general information are not correct. You can see what it's doing here. So let's go
Yeah.
back.
Oh, sorry. That's okay. I must have changed it after I ran it last. We were running goal information. Go ahead. Yeah, we can define it. And yep.
So what we always want to do is, well, first of all, you don't have, so even in
You
the
know what?
old
The one I
system,
was thinking of was actually pulled from the application. So this one did not run, and it's because we were trying to pull from grids, I think, out of our budget.
we can go back and look, but still, if it's a working, so what we're going to do to make it work, or what you would do in any case to make it work, is first of all, you've got to have grant information. So
Okay.
again, go to your grant general information, always. Bring your grant general information, grab something, and it's usually like the organization, if you want the organization or the contract number.
Okay.
So for this one, I'm gonna do contract number. But you can even add both. It's not gonna hurt anything. It goes again to the end. Then the next thing I'm gonna do is go into the status report information. And I'm gonna grab something from the status report general information. And I'm just gonna grab the report number. Again, it's not what field you grab, it's that you're grabbing a field that you're using from each one, okay? Then you always want those at the top. And I'm gonna hear people in this meeting, because I have heard from almost day one, yeah, but I run mine and I don't have to put anything in there. Yeah, you can. I would tell you that I would never depend on that data to be accurate, okay? If you're not actually telling the system where to go and what tables to join, your data is probably not that accurate. So you want to definitely follow these steps, and you definitely want those at the top. Those are the first things that the system needs to help create and pull the data for the report. Now, once you have those established, and I'm just going to do like a 3, 4, it's kind of cheating. The other thing I want to do is always make sure, again, that these are very unique labels. And we're going to save. And then at that point, you can see, and I'll click on here. So you're running a single value. So a single value section can be ran with any other section or multiple sections if it's all single value. But you can run single value with grid, and you can run single value with a multi-list. Yeah, I mean, that field's allowable. Okay, so then let's go back to the definition again. And then let's look at this one. What are you pulling
I think
from
it's
there?
at the top there.
Oh,
the-
there, yeah, see, and they're all single values. You could have 25, you could have 50 single values with 900 fields and it will run.
Okay.
It's more that it's not compatible with a grid because your grid rows.
Mhm.
Not necessarily your fields, but your grid rows. So like this one is salaries, benefits, admin cost.
Mhm.
And this is staff and training. They're not even alike. Do you see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's incompatible. And then if you look at this grid row, it's purchase services. That's the problem. You just can't pull all that data together. Okay, so now let's go back to the report definition. And then you'll have to give me that information again. We're gonna go generate.
Mhm.
And what was your funding opportunity?
It is, you find it again, 405-359. Yep.
We're gonna run it on all. So now I have a grant ID, I have a report number, I have the name of a grantee organization must be a sheet,
Mhm.
like your own form, right?
Yep, yep.
And then these are all the salaries, total approved, travel, blah, 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 blah.
Mhm. Yeah, no, that is different than what we were getting before, and I imagine it's what you added there. We have not typically added those general information fields and.
Yeah, and you will not, you may get that data. Many people do. I wouldn't consider it accurate though.
Right.
If you're not using what the system actually, is dependent on. And again, the system is dependent on that grant. It needs that general information to go find the data, the correct data, all the data.
That's helpful to see. I think I'd always functioned under the fact that I was filtering by a particular like funding opportunity. I assumed it would just pull from that funding opportunity, right? So, but it's nice to see you walk through this. So, okay.
Okay, so this is a really good report with all these to go back in and go, I would love to have some totals on this. Now, this only works for HTML. Obviously, it's not going to work if you pull it into Excel, but I'm going to go in and I'm going to say I want my totals. I'm going to save, and then I'm going to generate. And if you'll give that to me one more time.
You bet. It's 405-359.
And then I'm going to come down here and say, I definitely want to total by my grants. And there you have your totals. So do you see these? You may not be able to see it as bad or as good as I am because it's not as dark. Does that help
So
you
it's
guys?
yeah, it's totaling the rows below there. Okay, gotcha. Yep.
And then if you go to the end, I was looking for grand totals. I put subtotals on there.
Mhm.
Hang on, we'll go back. Okay, one more time.
Oh, there it is. I see the box.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, 405-359.
And then, I want a subtotal by my grant ID, but I want a grand total as well. So then when I generate and then I go down to the bottom, there's my grand totals.
Okay.
Like I said, if you are choosing, Excel to export this into Excel, it's not going to do that. It's only going to do that for HTML.
So if you were to choose Excel, do you have the options to select grand total, subtotal?
No, I mean, you can, but you're not going to get it.
Gotcha.
It's exporting out. It's going to a whole different mechanism to create the data.
Mhm.
The HTML options aren't there for Excel options. Excel will not let you export with those totals.
Okay.
It's only an HTML option. Now you can still sort, you just won't get your totals, even if you check them. So you can sort of get them by report number also,
Mhm.
but you won't get them when you export. Okay, so if I generate, crap.
405,
It doesn't matter now,
Okay.
405,
359.
359. Can you see this?
Mhm. A lot of times we have to expand our columns there. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so let's go back and start a new one. So now does everybody understand what we just walked through though, as far as I've got an existing report, I can't get it to pull data, I've got to go back and look at those general information fields. Are we all good there?
Hey, Tina,
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
I have a quick clarification. So you were talking about really three kinds of data. We've got single value data, multi-list data, and table and grids, right?
yeah,
So you said we can mix single value data with tables and grids. We can mix single value data with multi-list, but we can't mix multi-list with tables and grids in a report, right?
with grids, right. So a multi-list is your multiple entries. It's your add button, you guys. Multiple list is multiple entries of the same field. Now you may get it. It's not a legible thing because you're talking multiples of, so you may have a situation because Dennis, you do your budgets based on all multi-lists, do you not?
Yes.
So give me one of your examples of ad hoc reports in here that you knew worked on the other system.
And while he's looking for that, I am monitoring chat. So if you guys have questions you want to put in chat or something like that, just feel free to do that.
Would it be at the grant or would it be at the?
I think app budget CONT grants. And then it's the parentheses.
What was it? Budget what?
APP space budgets space CONT space grants. And then it's the
Yeah.
one that says February 21 through current.
Perfect. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is go first into edit report information. And I'm shocked you don't have include rows. Do you know why you didn't choose that?
Don't remember now. Feel free to add it.
Because you wanted to return even if data doesn't exist, meaning a null field. So I always tell everybody, right or wrong, select it. Then you can always go back, but you want to make sure that you're returning rows, even if they haven't entered something, especially like at the application. If it's not a required field and you're actually looking to report on that field, you want include all rows, just simply because you want to make sure that it includes it whether they've entered it or not, okay? You don't want the report skipping that application just because they didn't enter any information into a non-required field. Okay, and he's got some sorts here and he's doing a date range, which I like to show that too, because I think that's very important. Amy, if I was you, and whichever one I corrected the first time, you should go back on these reports and put fixed as well, or something that knows that it's running and it's working well. And we'll do the same thing with Dennis's as well. Okay, so once you edit the report information and you're looking to see what filters you have, then always go to define report. And I'm gonna kind of put this back down so I can see my screen. So Dennis is running on application general information. Then he's got the fiscal cover sheet, and we've got a program area opportunity, and he's got quite a bit of information on this. Okay.
Tina, I don't think I fixed this one yet. I don't think I replaced the general information.
It's all right. We'll,
I was
we'll,
marking those
we'll
things.
walk through it together. So just remember what they are, because, you know, I mean, I'm looking at this and not paying a lot of attention. But it looks like to me, we've got your title, status, submitted date, and your DUNS number. So let's edit all these fields and do it like this. I'm going to remove them. If you edit all the fields, you can remove them. Otherwise, you have to sit there and click delete and delete, delete. Okay, now we're going to add them. So we're going to go add, and it was an application-based document. So now what we're doing is looking for application. And again, the very first form is application general information. Okay, so Dennis, did we have the ID at all
Yes,
and the status,
yes,
title,
yes.
and what was the fourth one?
Probably the organization.
Okay,
Got
organization.
Dunn's number.
DUNS number, that's right.
Leave that off because we're not using it anymore though.
Okay, so organization. Go to the top, save that. Because application is really its own document, kind of like a grant. You don't have to go in and select any other general information fields than that. But they always go to the bottom. So what you want to do is edit your field list and get them back up to the top. So we're going to make this 1, and we're going to make this 2, and 3, and 4. And I'm going to save them. Okay. The other thing is go in and actually check it out. So he's got application fiscal office, which is the legal applicant form. Oh, well, I guess it's a continuation, but it's legal applicant. So go in and always look at your data. Because you guys, when you're building forms, you got to know the data. These are single value fields. See that? Okay, then he's got, so let's go back to report definition. And that goes clear down to, let's see, this one. That was the next one though. But we've got project director. So it looks like you've got quite a bit of single value. So do you have grids or just multi-list as well?
Well, all of the budget information would be a multi-list.
Yeah, so see where he's got personnel, fringe, overtime, travel, equipment, okay? He's got the cost too from each one of those. Then it looks like he's got another application ID. I'm not sure why. We're gonna remove it though. It's a duplicate from above. Do you agree with that, Dennis?
Yep.
Okay. We don't want duplicates. Remember, we're looking for unique, especially when it comes to the label. So you want to look down all those and make sure those are unique, but you're also making sure you don't have duplicate fields. I see the program areas on here. Coming from the opportunity. See now, Dennis, I wouldn't do it that way. I would have done right within the application. We'll see if it runs, but do you see what I'm saying? You're going outside your base document to get something that's right in your base document.
Yeah, I built this a long time ago, and I think at the time I thought I had to have, since I was going to do a filter on program area, I thought I had it included in there. So you can feel free to delete it.
Okay, so we're going to delete that one too. And then this looks pretty good. I mean, you got everything unique. We know we've got some single values and okay, so we're going to just look here also. I don't see that you're doing anything but aggregating some data, right? Oh, and you are totaling. So I want to run it in HTML first. So did everybody see that or did I go too quickly? Let me show you that quickly. Dennis has and I'm going to assume all the currency fields aggregating. Do you see this dollar? You can't aggregate on text or, like a formatted field. Dollar fields, decimals, numbers, integers, things like that, you can. And that's why the option is there to aggregate. Okay.
So the thinking is, Tina, since it's a multi-list, they might have 10 entries for personnel. And then I want that to be,
Probably.
and then I want that to be subtotal.
Yeah. Okay, so let's run it. So did everybody understand why he's aggregating that data? He's totally aggregating, he's basically summing up those dollar fields. Okay, let's generate. Okay, what do you have for your funding opportunity, Dennis?
443605.
And are they all submitted in?
Yeah, this is from last year.
Oh, they might be awarded then. Are they all awarded?
Yeah. How's that won't work? I've got some that are open. Can we run it on that? Some
Yeah,
would
we have
be-
some that are, they gotta be in under review or something. Let's run it on awarded. That would probably give you the most data, wouldn't it?
Okay.
All right, so if I generate. Okay. Let's go back and look at it. Oh, so you're doing that for match as well. That shouldn't make any difference though.
If you see something that you think is breaking it, just take it out.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Like, this is a general information field and we didn't fix it. I mean, I think that's gonna be the key there, you guys going back through everything. Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. Let's try running it again.
This should run on any funding opportunity, really, no matter what the status of the grants are, shouldn't it?
Well, but we're at application. It matters tremendously at an application level because they're either awarded, under review, or they're in flux right now as far as being submitted in. Just throw a funding opportunity, even if it was last year, if you're using all these same forms.
Definitely, yes. 443 605.
And it's close. So are these awarded also?
Yep.
And don't forget, if Dennis had him in all, he should be able to run it on like under review. I also want to see if I got any submitted. And then what do I have that I've already awarded? You should not have a problem running it on multiple statuses either. Well, you're getting data, but you're only getting data for the one because you need to group by probably let's go back. So if I define the report again, and I'm going to edit this, I'm going to group by ID. So I'm going to put one in there. So doesn't make a lot of sense to aggregate a lot of times without actually grouping. So we're grouping it, basically we're grouping it all by the application ID and aggregating on what that application sums are, if that helps knowing that. Okay, so if I generate now, give me the same one again.
443 605.
I'm gonna choose the same ones again. I'm gonna give me all the awarded, all under review, and all the submitted. So what happens now is Dennis should have these summing, and we grouped it, so everything occurring by the, excuse me, the application ID. Now, some of the fields, honestly, I'll be honest with you, like multi-list, that's great if it's a number. If it's a multi-list of all kinds of text and you can't aggregate that, then it's very hard to group because it's not going to make sense. You're going to get one of those, you know, you're going to get the first field out of every application and you're not going to get the rest because you can't sum text. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yes.
It makes
think
sense
so.
on this, you know, but grouping a lot of times, if you're asking something again and you're pulling in, especially like a status report, so you can group all day long and aggregate data, but then you need to ignore like, you would have to ignore like if you added your report numbers. Okay, so it's gonna pull 001 for all of them, and I don't care if they have 15, because you just said group it by the, say the grant ID number, and then you also said sum all the data, and then you're sitting out here with something you can't sum and you can't compile, right? Data on. So some of the fields, when you group and aggregate, will not make any sense. And you have to know that. You have to understand what your action is and what you want to see the end result. So if he would have had like 2 or 3 of these, it's just going to pull one county and you're not going to see anything else. So you just have to go, well, yeah, I'm grouping and I'm aggregating, but this field does not really count. And that's where it's important that you guys know your data. And then again, if Dennis wants to make this look like a nice report, he can go back and he can actually set it up to run on total subtotals. One last thing that I want to show you. I also want to show you your add to quick reports. Does everybody understand what this is?
No,
Okay. It's hard for me to show you on mine, but because I see anything and everything, but I can add any ad hoc that I run on a regular basis by clicking this. And I can go back to my dashboard and take a look, and down at the very bottom. So let me see, because this may not be like a good one for me to log in as. Basically, this is part of your section at the bottom. So anything that you run on a regular basis is going to be down at the very, very, very bottom. Takes my while. Almost there. And I like this. If you guys are logging in, you can always come to your work assignment, even if it's large, it won't take you as long as it took me. And then your quick reports that you run on a regular basis are there. And then you can also remove them. So you can go back and go, no, well, we don't run that one anymore. So I'm going to remove it from my quick reports. The other thing that I want to show you is the formatted reports. If you guys are not familiar with these formatted reports, it's quick, fast, and it's very informational. And these are excellent anymore. And they have some really, really good reports on here. So I think one of the things that we just updated was like, I want to say like grant claims. And now they're actually, what was your funding opportunity, Dennis?
443605.
So these are all what we call our canned or formatted reports on the general information fields. Okay. They also do a worded fields too. This one's a really nice one though. And I'm going to do on submitted because you probably have something submitted. What do you?
We just cleared it.
Okay. So paid, right?
Yep.
So we are now pulling in not only the submitted date, but the last submitted date, because a lot of times, especially with claims, you get into all that bottlenecking and you might want to see where you're at. Well, you know, it's kind of misleading if you're always just looking at the submitted date, the initial submitted date. If you negotiate it back, this would be more likely the more real date you should be going by for your approval process. And again, remember all of these reports, you can actually click on and sort when you're in the report. But see, that's nice. I mean, it's just nice to know that you've got an approval there, you've got the paid date, when was it last submitted, and it's more for current information. So check out, I want you guys to all check out your reports. They're really helpful and they're quick and fast. And you can also export them to CSV. So you can also come down here and they go add PDF, but Excel, okay? Data only, remember, is what we are fixing. So make sure you are checking those because that's a developer doing it. And a lot of times they don't have the information. They don't have the funding opportunity. They don't have the status of where you're at the time. So definitely check those out. What other questions do you guys have? Because I have to go into another meeting, so I definitely want to hear them.
Hey, Tina, as a reminder, I don't know if you want to show it or not, but I don't think in the old system, the sub-grantees could run reports, but they have access to reports now and they're really pretty.
They actually do. They are based totally on their, do you have a login? Does anybody have like a tester login? Let me see if this one works. Okay. Reports on the external side, they don't have, like, they can't get to fields or anything like this. So whatever they have is based on the grant, again, general information. And if I run and generate my report and I don't, they shouldn't have to use any filters if they don't want to, because again, maybe you have certain circumstances where they'd have a lot more. But this is a really nice feature. So they can run it on their claims. That one might take a little longer. You know, so yeah, get to know these reports. They got status reports if you do contracts, if they have inventory. So yeah, that was a good one to bring up. Okay, guys, I am out of time and I have to go to another meeting. So any
Thank you,
questions
Tina.
on this, you guys let me know, okay?
Very
Thank you so
helpful.
much.
Yeah, thank you.
Very much. You're welcome. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Okay, have a good day.
You too. Bye.